Hello. Have you ever felt down in the dumps and had someone come along and try and cheer you up? How did they do that? Did they say something like, "Come on, it could be worse. Give me a smile." Or perhaps, "Cheer up, at least you have a friend to talk to." Or at least this or at least that hasn't happened. I know they mean well, but I don't suppose it helped much, did it? My name is Ian Currey, and this is another episode of Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Hello. Have you ever noticed how most encouraging sayings or encouraging ideas seem to start from a "woe is me, it'll never work" Eeyore kind of place? I have friends like that. Whenever I meet them, they seem to say something like, "Hello everyone, how are you doing?" It's not so much what they say, of course, but how they say it. Now, we can't all be upbeat all the time, but being down in the dumps all the time isn't a good place to be either. Looking for encouraging words when things are really dark is relatively easy. You know, things like, "When you are going through hell, keep going," and "there's always a light at the end of the tunnel." Those kind of things. They're easy to find. Even the Bible, which you would think would be a fine place to find encouragement, usually seems to start in those dark places too. "Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me." All right, it's lovely to know God is with us and all that, but do we always have to be in a gloomy place to realize that? For the past couple of weeks, I've been noticing that David was having a rough time seemingly every other day, especially in the Psalms he writes. You'll know what I mean from the videos by now. There are loads of examples to choose from, but here's one. "I pray to you, O Lord my rock, do not turn a deaf ear to me, for if you are silent, I might as well give up and die. A gloomy place indeed. I might as well give up and die." One of the things I've noticed in my own life is that when things are going well, you know, those lovely days where the sun is shining, there's a gentle breeze, the deer are playing in the yard, and there's a lovely coffee beside me. Those days. Well, on those days, I really don't need too much encouraging, do I? Or do I? Wouldn't it be better to top off that happy tank and use those memories to offset doom and gloom before they come along? No? Well, of course, it doesn't always work quite like that, does it? But still, there's nothing at all wrong with reaching out and making someone's day before they're down in the dumps. Not too long ago, on one of my flights, I noticed a rather large Eeyore looking sorry for himself. He was in an overhead bin. Now, most of you know by now I like Winnie the Pooh and his friends. You know, I suppose I'm a bit more like Tigger than I care to admit. So seeing poor Eeyore stuffed up there in an overhead bin made me feel sorry for him and want to help him out. We had an extra seat or two on the plane, so I got him down, gave him some wings to wear on his sleeve, strapped him into a seat, and made his owner very happy. You know, I think Eeyore might even have started to smile a little, don't you? There's a story in the Bible that has become really famous, and its title is sort of stuck in the English language. It has all sorts of connotations and meanings attached to it. It's the story of the Good Samaritan. When we say Good Samaritan, it sort of conjures up all sorts of ideas, doesn't it? What do you think of? Perhaps you think of someone going out of their way to do something that is good, or perhaps work in a charity or something. You know, a nice person, one who is respected. But the real story goes very much deeper than that. The Good Samaritan, in fact, was despised. This isn't a story about helping someone that is down in the dumps and feeling a little like Eeyore and having a woe is me, I'm so sad moment. No, this is serious stuff. I suppose if I was thinking, I might have put two and two together because, well, the story's only recorded by Luke and he was the doctor, remember? Perhaps the state of the person left beside the road that's described in the story, unable to even ask for help, is why Luke, the doctor, took such an interest in the story. A Jewish man was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho and he was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him up and left him half dead beside the road. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt compassion for him. The story goes on to tell us how the despised Samaritan went out of his way to look after the half-dead man. He took him to a place where he could get better and even paid for the medical care needed himself. As always, there's a great deal that could be said about this story. You may note that I skipped over the part where the people that should have known better didn't do anything. I also skipped the part where Jesus asks his audience, what do you think the story is about? However, the very last part of the story has Jesus telling his disciples and anyone else listening, now go and do the same. In our context these days, I wonder what that means. Far from us being all gloomy and needing encouragement or something, laying there and expecting someone to cheer us up, it seems Jesus wants us to look out for others, those in desperate need, and who we normally wouldn't have contact with at all. It's hard to encourage and help people when you're all gloomy yourself, isn't it? I have a colleague who always seems to be upbeat. I'm sure he must be down in the dumps too sometimes, but he seems to have decided that life is far too short to wallow and be all doom and gloom all the time. Now, I first met him when I was in training for the job I have, and the two of us have been firm friends ever since. We always greet each other with huge smiles and big hugs. He's one of the best huggers I know. And somehow, we just know that we're both on the same page with attitude to life. Instead of only encouraging those that need it and ask for it, how about going out of our way to encourage the desperate, those who are half dead beside the road, as it were? Those who are upbeat also need encouraging, even when they're on top of the world. Encouraging a Tigger once in a while may enable them to reach out to even more Eeyore types. Now, I did find a place in the Bible that, although written by Paul, who was in all kinds of a pickle again, he always was, it doesn't feel that way at all. Right when you'd think Paul might be needing help, in fact, he says, please don't lose heart because of my trials here. Paul, though, goes on to encourage. Now, all glory to God, who is able, through his mighty power at work within us, to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. Sometimes then it might be a great thing to not only reach out to those who are desperate and in need of encouragement, but also to make sure we're keeping those who are already upbeat in a great place to accomplish even more than they already are. If you're one of those people like my friend with enough hugs for everyone. Keep on giving them out. Keep on spurring the rest of us on so that God is able to do amazing things through all of us. Looking out for one another, caring and encouraging is something we can all do together. Until next time, goodbye.